talk about this big game on Saturday with the Spiders. Your team closed out your home schedule, 22-12 win over Bryant. Get to the 7-win mark. Just talk about that game and what impressed you with your team's play.
Yeah, it was. I thought we did a really good job being resilient. As we've alluded to all these weeks and these calls, listening to other coaches, that it's hard to win games, and particularly teams in the CAA. I thought Coach Merritt did a great job preparing his team. But ultimately, the defense, it was kind of like a bend but don't break mentality there. When you give up 12 points, but at the same time, along with that, doing a great job. We scored first, took the ball, we scored first. They jumped offside, so instead of kicking an extra point, we go for two, so it's 8-0. And then they have an opportunity in the second quarter. They score, try to go for two. Defense, stops them from doing that. And then as the game went on, there are situations where they get down to the goal line and we block a field goal. And then they get down to the goal line once again and we get the interception. So I thought, the bend but don't break mentality was something that was experienced, that our guys were able to do that defensively, making plays when it came down to it. I thought offensively, we did a good job rushing the ball. I believe averaged like 6.8 yards per carry. And that's a guy like Bronson Yoder. Bronson went over 1,000 yards this season. He's second all time in the school's career, total yardage. I think, and he's third with rushing yardage. So he's been representing our team in a high capacity in the ground game with some of the offensive linemen and Darius Wilson. So we did enough. We scored enough. When you go back and you look at the possessions, normally there's like 11 to 13 possessions a game. They had 11 possessions, ran 80 plays, and I believe we had 8 possessions. And two of those, one was on a muffed punt by one of our younger players, and the other one was Carson Jenkins that took it to the distance. And so, you look at the possessions, not as many, but you look at how you can lose the possessions when your first opportunity to have the ball. And, we went 1 for 2 on that. But, overall, like I said, it's, seniors last game. It was great. We honored the 2014 that was, finally ranked number 3 in the country back at that time, had 11 wins. Lane Campbell, the Walter Payton Award recipient here back then. Coach Laycock, and that team walked out. Coach was recognized for being inducted into the William Mary Football Hall of Fame. And it was our senior game, too. So the culmination of all those things made it really neat. And then obviously when you can win that game, it makes it really easy as well. So, but, great game. Hat goes off to Coach Merritt, his team, but really, really proud of the resilience of our team and, the bend but don't break mentality and just getting to the point where now, where there's one game left and against a very, very good team. That's my alma mater. But at the same time, when you're here in these shoes, you want to win that game. And I've been on both sides of the coin there. And but that's what it's like. That's college football. That's a rivalry game. And I'm sure both teams will be excited about playing this one.
First question from John O'Connor. Go ahead, John.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Coach London, student athlete welfare is a big deal now. I wonder if you could look back at your days at Richmond and sort of summarize your student athlete experience with the Spiders. Didn't win a great deal, but we're in a lot of tough games with big time opposition.
John, you're always good for asking, questions like that, man. We started out, we were sort of like FBS, we're Division One, and you play the teams that growing up and being part of that, you have an idea about what college football is all about. Richmond, as William and Mary, are two institutions that the mission statements are about educating their young men and women that play sports. They're about the life after sport, life after football opportunities. And so I was able to glean that kind of experience, surrounded by really good people. Jim Tate, the head coach when I first got there, then Dal Shealy after that. And then being lucky enough or blessed or fortunate enough to be an assistant there and then come back, as a head coach and being on the staff with Russ Huesman and other guys there. So the experience was great. It's a like-minded institution as I'm at now, having been an assistant here and now the head coach. And but I wouldn't trade that for anything. It helped hopefully mold me into the individual that I am today and can champion the causes of athletics and academics can coexist. You can chase championships. You can also achieve a world-class degree.
Hey, if I could follow up and ask, how did you are known for your enthusiasm, for your ebullience, for your energy. How did you maintain that and take that from a program? You were 0-10 as a senior, and you didn't have a winning record in any of your 4 seasons. What made you stick with college football?
Well, I mean, as you know, John, growing up in a family, Wilson London, my father, and I always referred to, lost him last March, referred him to being a guy that was always expecting your best and that it was important to affirm, avow, appreciate, acknowledge everyone. And if that energy that you had, if it can raise the level of anyone, then you've done what you're supposed to do. And so that's part of it is, I've always been energetic, I've always been passionate. And as you know, John, gun doesn't go off as a Richmond PD officer. The doctor says you're a match for your own daughter. Why wouldn't I be excited, energetic, and having a chance to coach in this game or coach in this sport where you have a chance to influence so many young men? And that's kind of the reason why. But they're always, like I said, coming from a military family, living all over the world, knowing that, doesn't matter the size of the puzzle, all pieces of the puzzle are important. And that's just kind of a mindset I've had over the years, and thankful and grateful for the opportunities.
Hey, lastly, do you guys still have a shot at the playoffs, you think?
I don't know. The first thing we know is a win can get the Capital Cup back here. And so, again, that's people that will decide that, when everything's said and done. But our first and main focus is to go up there, play a competitive game, and win the game and bring back the cup. I mean, obviously that's they want to keep the cup. I've been on both sides of this ledger. I don't know how many times, how many games this has been for me, but that's the gist of what we're focusing on and playing our best game to date to have an opportunity to go up there and win.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, John.
Mike, you touched on the 90-yard punt return from Carson Jenkins. He's the guy that it's just become your punt returner later in the season. Just talk about the impact of that play and what he's able to do back there.
Carson is he's always been a guy he's an explosive guy. He's one of the fastest guys on our team, and we've been back and forth with returners, and the opportunity presented itself for him, and he made the most of it. And so this is not the first time he's done it in a game, obviously, but he showed those kind of capabilities in practice. His high school, he's from Southwest Virginia. His high school, you look at his highlight tape, he's got all kind of punt returns, kickoff returns, jet sweeps, all those types of things. And so it's truly indicative of a player just rising to the occasion. You never know who's going to be that individual to say, "Coach, just give me a chance." And he took the most of it and literally ran away with it. So we're excited about him and what he offers to our special teams, our kicking game, and also even offensively. So hats off to Carson. He did a great job for us.
Before I let you go, just talk about the Spiders and some of the keys for your team to have success.
Good.
Well, obviously,
okay. Yeah.
Mike, excuse me, Mike Baller, can you mute your line? Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that, Coach.
That's right. No, obviously, Richmond's a really good football team. Coach Huesman has done a good job with his staff. I think offensively, their quarterback does a good job distributing the ball to playmakers. So we got to know where they're at and make sure we set the edge and make sure we keep the ball in front of us. Defensively, they get after it. They get after the quarterback. They rush the passer, tackles for loss, things like that. So we're going to have to impact, again, what we do well is running the ball and be able to get the ball in the perimeter and take our shots when it presents ourselves. And then goes back to special teams again about where you start with the ball. That's through your punt return and your kickoff return. So They got a unique style of punting, but at the same time, you gotta field the ball, then you gotta advance it. So
But
I just think special teams is going to be critical in terms of where we start, where we get the ball on both sides.
All right, Mike. Thanks as always for the time this afternoon, and appreciate your time all season long.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you guys.